Okay, I'm recording.
We're recording.
Yeah,
I am I'm frustrated
you
because
are. It's a great day.
I just feel I've heard this oh, if we get Democrats in control of stuff, we can move them to the left on things. But where has Kamala Harris moved to the left on foreign policy?
She hasn't moved to the left on anything. What are you talking about?
On
She,
anything.
no, I mean, one of the Democrats have moved left on anything. They don't. It's all a bunch of. I mean, this is nonsensical
Because
delusions.
there are
This is insanity. This just I mean, people that say this shit. This just speaks to how propagandized everybody is here. Like
right. Right.
you're brainwashed. You're brainwashed if you think that. Sorry, like we don't have two parties. We have one party. It is
Mhm.
the pro-war, pro-capital, pro-cop party. It
Yeah.
is the pro-white domination party. That's
Mhm.
what they do, and that's who Kamala Harris and Joe Biden represent. And so does Trump, and so does Mike Pence. They all represent the same party. That's the same interests that they serve. So we need to organize outside the party. Like one
Mhm.
day of organizing will do so much better than uh, voting.
Right.
Like that's just like that's what people need to realize here. Like we need to build our own parties and institutions, and that's how we will take down the system that oppresses us.
Mhm.
So that's we need a
Justice Democrats and the DSA are not enough. We can't only
no.
influence the party. We can influence the party, the Democratic Party, but we have to have our own alternative and our own solutions to it. We can't just continuously try to influence them because it's really hard. They're blocking out anybody remotely progressive, and um, therefore transforming them into just sheepdogs for for their own interests. And I mean, just so we can, like, what has Bernie Sanders had to do to get us to try and get us Medicare for all, which we're not going to get because
No.
Kamala Harris doesn't support it anymore.
And
And
Joe Biden said that he was going to veto it if it ever came across his desk. I mean, we're not going to get any of the things that like this social democracy would like improve like people's material conditions. We're not going to get it. We're not going to, it's not going to happen.
yeah.
That the Democratic Party is the graveyard of progressive movements. We need to like we've said before on this show, like we don't support anyone working within the Democratic Party or their sister organizations or whatever. Any organization that says that they're going to try to reform this shit is delusional, and they're lying, and they're opportunists. We need to stop that. Like we need to stop pretending to go along with this shit.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stop. We need to
Yeah.
stop. We need to really get a really strong understanding of how this works and what we need to do. We need to work outside the party, and form our own party. We need a vanguard
Because that's
revolutionary
what gets shit's
socialist
done.
party.
Yeah.
That's what's shown to work, and that's what we need to do.
Been particularly nauseating though is the way, like, liberals are responding to this. They're really happy about it. Or if they're even disappointed, they're still like gasping or grasping for straws when, like,
Right.
the bare minimum they need to do is just say, yeah, I'm only voting for Joe Biden because I want to vote against Donald Trump. But, like, then just say it.
Well, because liberals just want like someone that makes them feel more comfortable about imperialism.
Right.
That's what they want. They want
Right.
someone that's going to
Right.
say nice things about imperialism
Right.
and corruption and
Mm-hmm.
the dictatorship of capital. That's what they want. They want someone that's going to make them feel better about it so they can sleep better at night. But they don't have a dialectical materialist understanding of like how this shit's working. They don't
Mm-hmm.
have that type of analysis.
They don't
Um,
understand the president's job is like mostly foreign policy.
they don't
So
have a class analysis. That's what
they,
they don't. That's what we're lacking here. Our oppressors do. The ruling class do. They have a great understanding of class analysis and
yeah.
class solidarity.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. That's what we need to do. We're not
Mm-hmm.
outnumbered. We're just
Yeah.
out organized, and we need to have a class analysis. We need class unity.
Where could we start, Eric? Where could we start developing that class analysis?
I don't know. Maybe read this. Maybe start reading this shit. What Lenin said, or what fucking Marx said, and I don't know. Maybe Malcolm X, and I don't know. Shit.
Angela Davis?
Yeah, Claudia Jones.
Weren't liberals just like wagging our fingers to the far, far left about Angela Davis endorsing Joe Biden? What about any of these people? What about what they have to say about imperialism? Like that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to liberals. I mean, at some point they have to. What's really frustrating is that they don't want to talk about their own racism. They don't. They pretend that there's no racism on their side. So
Well,
Kamala Harris, with her like extremely pro-Israel stances and her super anti-China. I mean, on the debate stage, she was like, "We have to deal with China." What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean when on the border with Korea we have weapons of mass destruction? We're arming terrorists to try to destabilize Xinjiang so we can destabilize China.
right, because the liberals are also blinded with American exceptionalism. They believe all the myths and delusions that
Mm-hmm.
America that comes with American exceptionalism.
Yeah.
Again,
they just indirectly admit every single time that they benefit from imperialism.
right.
They don't want to say that. They would rather say, "Oh, things will be better with Joe Biden as president," but Joe Biden's foreign policy has been far worse than Donald Trump's. Joe Biden has had 40 years of murderous, disastrous foreign policy. Like they created, like the Obama administration created an open slave trade in Libya.
Right.
And like it just blows my mind. And Donald Trump's foreign policy isn't better. He's just a blundering fool. They can't get anything done successfully. So he's like, the businessman in him comes out and he's like diplomatic and he's like, "Let's meet." And people would rather have somebody who's like, "Oh, let's meet," rather than, "Now we're just going to blow you up." But like liberals,
the Democrats attack him from the right for doing that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason why he does it is because it makes him look good, and like he does it for publicity and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that they were all attacking him for meeting with all these other people like Putin and Kim Jong Un. I remember that they were all like up in arms about it, but like it was only when he started launching rockets and missiles and bombs into Syria that's when he became presidential. Remember, everyone on the Democratic side, on the news, on the MSNBCs and the CNNs were like busting their nuts and like rubbing their nipples when they saw like Trump and his missiles launching and killing people.
And they pinch their dicks over this shit.
They're pinching their dicks. They're pinching their nips.
They're dick pinchers.
Yeah, whenever a missile goes off.
So it's so frustrating because Democrats then are also the party of war. I mean, it makes you miss Tulsi Gabbard, doesn't it? Like where like that's why people like me went really hard for her, because she was this like. She is somebody who is.
We should play that clip of her taking down.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I sent it to you. Will you get it up?
Yeah. Was it the same night that Kamala called Joe Biden a segregationist? Like that was the same debate, right?
Yeah. Oh, and now you're proud.
I was that little girl.
I was that little girl. Now I'm running with the segregationist.
Now you're 55 and trying to blow up Palestinians. Like that's
Right.
That's what you want to do.
White pathology. It's a bitch.
That's why. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh come on, Carl Jha.
Do I have it up? Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place. That impacts poor people in the worst kind of way. When you are in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who are on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
Oh, and boop, and I boop.
And I
boop. And I boop, and I boop.
Boopity boop.
Boopity boop.
Tulsi Gabbard just like she just like boop.
Oh, I missed that for sure.
I miss that energy. Like listen, I understand when people don't like Tulsi Gabbard. The bar is fucking low. If we can admit that the bar is low for people like Joe Biden, I think people can be a little more understanding of somebody like Tulsi Gabbard and somebody who like is willing to sit down at the table, right? Instead of just blowing people up. Like, I don't believe Tulsi has a fundamental understanding of like the petrodollar or there's like a segment where somebody asks her about
it's not even about, look, anyone that's working in or with the Democratic Party are our class enemies. Like, that's just it. Like,
fair.
Like, no, like, it doesn't, like, we can't even, like, play around with this anymore. Like, we can't even, like, even entertain the thought of, you know, anyone that says that they're progressive or there's some kind of socialist running within Democratic Party. That's a red flag. You're an opportunist. You're not who you say you are. Otherwise, you'd be working outside the party because that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
If you are what you say you are. Because you're not going to get anywhere. You just want to, you know, serve the current power structure that we have right now, which is the dictatorship of the bourgeoisie, of capital, which is the dictatorship of capital, war, and, you know, white domination.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So this is just, we can't even entertain that anymore. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden worked together to create we live in a carceral state. We live in a police state, and they built it and they maintained it, and that's what they're going to continue to do. Kamala Harris, prosecuted for weed. You know, she is in favor of prison labor. Like, she didn't want to let people go for nonviolent offenses because why? Well, then they'd be screwed for, you know, firefighters that are not trained and that, you know, work for free in these dangerous situations.
You mean the slave trade would collapse?
What'd you say?
I said the slave trade would collapse?
Exactly. Our slave trade would collapse. Our prison slave labor camps would collapse. But, you know, you know, only the DPRK has those, and China has those, and you know,
and they gotta go. They gotta go.
Not us. You know, we don't have that. Not us. No.
Only we can be the ones to have slaves.
We're not projecting. No. We're not projecting.
Correct. You're absolutely right.
we're not projecting. You know, the U.S. isn't projecting its heinous.
You fucking tanky. You have no standards.
No standards. Read a book.
You don't believe in anything. No. Ugh. I just.
Oh, cash bail. She's for, you know, she's for cash bail.
Ugh.
She's the anti-truancy queen. She locked people up for truancy. That's what she wanted to do. I mean, they're perfect. I mean, I don't know what. I mean, this is. I'm not surprised. They're perfect. They're perfect.
Oh, I'm not surprised that he picked her. I mean, we knew that was gonna happen.
Well, yeah, I mean the liberals just like want like representation, like of the, you know, our pathological system. So they just want like a black face on white domination, and that makes them happy. They think that's what this whole assimilationist liberal shit does. It doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't take down the power structures that are oppressing people within the imperial core. And it doesn't. It's further oppresses people outside of the boundaries of our imperial empire. So.
And I try to assert that I'm not voting for Joe Biden under like.
We're voting for Gloria La Riva.
I'm voting for Gloria La Riva. Elections in the United States are a farce. They are theater.
Exactly.
They are theater. And the 2016 election should show liberals that it fucking doesn't matter who wins because the loser becomes the president.
Right. How's that for democracy? But, oh no, it's Russia. Russia set up our system. Don't you remember? Russia set it up back in the beginning.
And now China's trying to do it because they would prefer that Trump didn't win. We would all prefer that Trump didn't fucking win the election. We would all prefer that, I think. So why are they trying to like... China says we don't want Donald Trump to be president. That's a good foreign policy stance for them to have.
but neither... Why would they want the Democrats? They're just as hawkish. It doesn't make any sense. It's either color, either flavor is bad.
Yeah.
Of that party because they're one party.
It's exhausting and it's nauseating.
I know
because liberals.
China's a threat because of their Belt and Road Initiative, and among other things. Mm-hmm. So. I mean, this is just comical that like when we hear people like try to do mental gymnastics about this shit.
Yeah.
It's really mind-boggling. Like,
I wonder how they think things are going to be better under Joe Biden when most
Joe
of
Biden doesn't even know he's alive. He doesn't even know he's alive.
He's a dilapidating floor mob, and Trump is going to clean house with him. Like, if they better not let him speak. If they listen, I don't think they want to win. I don't think they want to win. They stopped Bernie from getting the nomination like they wanted to do. They snubbed out any of these other progressives, and they made Tulsi Gabbard's foreign policy look like fringe politics, which that was a huge red flag for me. That was a huge red flag for me. I was like, you can't tell me that the Democrats are not the party of war because Kamala Harris literally just fucking argued for like relentless war on China. We have to do with China should be, we want to go to war with China.
Right. I know. Because that's what the ruling elites want, and that's what the national security or the deep state, that's what they want. Because war is a racket. The people that fund the Democratic Party are the war machine. Like, that's what they want. Of course, they always need a bad guy because war is a racket. So, of course. And then, you know, that also impedes on our civil liberties, you know, spying on us and all this other shit, the Patriot Act and all this other shit. And it comes at our expense all the time. So, of course. I mean, this is just, I'm not surprised. And it's just, they're perfect representatives.
A couple of my friends have like reached out to me and they're like, you have this privilege of
this privilege.
not voting for Joe Biden.
I can't.
And I'm just like, so you're telling me that I'm not losing anything by choosing not to vote for Joe Biden. When Joe Biden was vice president, I faced homelessness twice. What did the Obama administration do for homeless people?
Crack their heads. That's what they did.
Nothing, because they don't do that. They do foreign policy stuff. There's very little domestic things that the president does. And I always used to think people always made me feel, I always felt when I was talking to people that I was crazy for focusing so much on foreign policy. But it really fucking matters. It matters. It matters because this is what left-wing racism is to me, is we have to deal with China.
Right.
Is they position themselves as progressives on the left, and then they just regurgitate the same xenophobic rhetoric. They authorize war to genocide Arabs.
Right. Right. They're social.
How am I the racist one for not voting for the segregationist? For the guy who wrote the crime bill?
Exactly. Who has created the material conditions that we're all facing now. Like, he played a huge role in everything that we're facing right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Instead of bailing out the banks, maybe you should have bailed out the people who lost their homes. I don't know, the 5 or 10 million people that lost their homes during the crash. Oh, Kamala Harris, while you were busy prosecuting poor people, what about the bankers? You didn't prosecute anybody while you were a prosecutor in California. No, you're busy putting people in jail for truancy and weed, and didn't stop anyone from getting executed on death row who were innocent. She supported the death penalty. I mean, what these people?
Joe Biden supports the death penalty.
Yeah.
Joe Biden. Hold on, no. Let me pull that up. Let me pull it up. I've got so many fucking links here. Also, let's remember that Joe Biden helped build these cages that children are in.
The concentration camps.
Yeah, he helped build this border fence wall thing, whatever you want to fucking call it. He laid the groundwork for Trump's border wall.
Mm-hmm. He wants to cut Social Security, wants to cut Medicaid, Medicare. He's for all these things.
He's switched his opinion on abortion as recent as last summer.
I know. Right, but
last year.
Fox, you're really privileged for, you know.
Where's this document? Yes. Okay, hold on. I gotta find it. 1994. Or no, sorry. This is a Vox article from July last year.
Mm-hmm.
A 1994 law Joe Biden wrote put these 4 men on death row. A few hours after the Trump administration announced it was bringing back federal executions, former Vice President and 2020 candidate Joe Biden had a single message: abolish the death penalty. Real rich, buddy, considering.
Wait, who said that? You said? I'm sorry. What did you say? Who said that?
Biden said that we needed to abolish the death penalty. In criticizing these federal executions, Biden is fighting a monster he helped create. On Thursday, Attorney General William Barr announced that the federal government would resume executions for the first time in nearly 2 decades, scheduling execution dates for 5 inmates who have been convicted of murder and other crimes. Several 2020 candidates swiftly criticized the government for its decision, which isn't surprising considering all candidates but Montana Governor Steve Bullock are opposed to the death penalty. Joe Biden, too, joined the crowd to call for an abolishment of the death penalty. 4 of the 5 prisoners are eligible for federal executions because of the 1994 crime law Biden wrote and shepherded to passage while he was the chair of the Secretary Judiciary Committee. The Supreme Court ruled that the death penalty was unconstitutional. So how, so
I mean,
Joe Biden's legacy still lives, even though the Supreme Court said no, this is unconstitutional.
yeah, I mean, that's just, it's disgusting that, I mean, how could you even call yourself like a democracy and you have the death penalty?
How could you even call yourself like a progressive or a fucking good person? Like, how are you justifying yourself as a good person by even arguing to vote for this man?
No,
I wish.
I mean, like, I don't understand. Like, it's just like,
I don't want to make anyone feel like a bad person.
No. So there's a campaign going around called Settle for Biden. Have you heard of this?
No.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So I caught a glimpse of it, and someone that I know on social media was posting about it, like on their Instagram story, saying, "Oh, like, let's settle for Biden, and here's the reasons why," and they're all fucking wrong. Oh, Joe Biden will be better on Medicare. Joe Biden will be better on the environment. Joe Biden will be better on cops and policing. Really?
Let's talk about the environment. Let's talk about the environment.
Because the Paris Climate Accords, which did shit. I'm like, that's not gonna do shit. I'm sorry. And
his plan.
Obama opened the Arctic to drilling numerous times, and the DAPL.
Yeah. People forget that shit happened under the Obama administration.
Pro-fracking. You're in a pro-fracking party.
I bet RuPaul's gonna endorse fucking Joe Biden. Watch. I
know. Fuck RuPaul.
Fuck RuPaul. Fuck RuPaul.
Jump in a lake, RuPaul.
He's got such a bad record on climate change too. People are like, oh, this is like the single biggest issue of our lifetime. Yeah, it is. So why are you trusting Joe Biden with it?
Right. You're a pro-capitalist party. So why should anyone fucking support that? That's what's destroying the planet, is capitalism. So we need a new solution. We need a new system. We need socialism. That's the only way that's gonna save the planet. Sorry. So we need a party that supports that agenda.
I'm exhausted just like reading like the lengths people go to try to what's the word I'm looking for? They're posturing. They're oh god.
I just don't understand that this whole settle for Biden bullshit, because so you're admitting you don't want him and you don't like
that's the thing. They don't want to vote for him. So fucking don't vote for him.
So vote for someone that you actually have your values align with, that you like support. Right. And this person's like, yeah, I'm a socialist, but I'm going to vote for Biden because I'm settling because he's the one that can win. I'm like, well, it's not about winning. Like Eugene Debs said, I would rather vote for something that I want and not get it versus voting for something I don't want and get it. So, I mean, that's logical. Why would you want to vote for more war? Why would you want to vote for something or for someone? So if you don't want war, why would you vote for it? If you don't want imperialism, why would you vote for it? If you don't want capitalism, why would you vote for it? If you don't want a prison state, why would you vote for it? If you don't want cops shooting black people in the street, why would you vote for it? If you don't want the environment to go down into the shitter, why would you vote for it? Why would you vote for more bombs if you don't want it? Like, it's just like it just blows your mind away. Blows your mind away. The logic. It's just like that just shows you how irrational people are here. Yeah. And how brainwashed they are. And how strong our media is in making people obey and just follow what the ruling elites want you to do. They want you to go in circles and continue to live in this delusion, which is their delusion. Because they don't live like in reality either. They live in a totally different world.
They live in a world where they think we have until 2040 to combat climate change.
They don't even care. They want this. They'd rather just die with everything, just like having all this wealth. They don't care. That's how sick it is. That's how sick they are, and that's how sick they make this system is, and it affects us. It affects people. They make people sick too. They make people want to join in this delusion and think that they can be a part of that, and that's sick. It's antithetical to human behavior.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing.
This is where nuclear energy comes in for me, because I don't think Biden's anything is anywhere near remotely what anybody needs right now, especially his climate plans.
And that's why they chose him, and that's why he's been anointed, and that's why Kamala Harris. Wall Street was just saying that they love that Biden picked Kamala Harris. Like she's approved. They're all approved by the ruling elites, by Wall Street, by the banks, by the war industry.
You sound like a conspiracy theorist, Eric. I'm gonna need you to pinch your dick.
I know, it's just an institutional analysis, because I read. I've read, and I'm reading. Some people should try to do that. Crazy. That's when you know someone who hasn't read, is when they just like throw out that.
Oh my God, I was talking to this guy, and he was like, what was he describing? That hold on, it'll come to me. We were talking about voting for third parties, and he's like, the Green Party hasn't won anything over 30 years, and he was like, it's useless to vote for them because they don't get anything done.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did the Democrats get done? I'd like to know.
But anyway, so I was like, yeah. He's like, what's the Green Party done? And I was like, well, they wrote the Green New Deal that the Democrats stole.
Oh yeah.
They wrote that, and Green Party members all over the country get elected.
Right.
So I'm not sure what you're talking about. Hold on.
They are admitting without admitting that they live in a dictatorship.
Okay. Here we go.
It's crazy.
Mind you, I think this guy is pretty smart. I think he could read Lenin. That's all I'm gonna say. So I was like, he's like, a whole third party to run in a general is not gonna work. I said, infiltrating is not the only strategy. We can infiltrate and destroy them, but we also need a power on the outside to fill the vacuum. Because if we split the Democrats up between progressives and conservatives, and we don't have something to back up the progressives who leave.
But that's what we've done. That's what's already happened. And look what happened. Right. Look at the squad.
Right. So that's what I was getting at. And I was like, Lenin wrote about this, and he said, right. I literally don't give a shit about theory.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm sorry. You don't understand how revolutions work.
I just, why would liberals?
You don't know how systems and institutions work then. And you don't know how.
Why do they want to engage with liberal ideology instead of communist theory? This is not pseudoscience.
It feeds their delusion. That's why they don't want to they're afraid of facing their delusion and have to unlearn everything that they've been taught, because it's scary and hard.
It's hard. It's hard.
But I'm sorry, but that just speaks to their. I mean, if they're showing that they're really unwilling,
yeah,
to do that, then
I just was, it was after that I just kind of went in and I was like, this is,
There's only so much you can do. Like there's only so much that we can do to try to like bring, make people more class conscious and more like radical and revolutionary in their thinking. And, there's only so much we can do.
Yeah.
Some people are just lost, and there's we got to keep doing that. I mean, that's what revolutionaries are supposed to do. We're supposed to help educate and spread this stuff that we're reading.
The conversation, I will say for this person
in.
who's really nice, that the conversation was otherwise pretty great. And, but when he said that, I was just like, stop with the liberal ideology and like, I don't know, read the Spark Notes. I mean,
read the Spark Notes. I know.
Read Wikipedia even.
I know.
You could watch our videos.
Oh, yeah, right.
You could subscribe to the Red Lettuce.
That, yes.
That should be our end thing. Subscribe to the Red Lettuce.
Yes, I love that. We said what we needed to say about about this whole fucking thing. I mean, none of us are surprised.
Nope.
So we're voting for Gloria La Riva.
I'm voting for Gloria La Riva. Yep. Oh, do you want to learn a Welsh word?
Yeah, but like, let's also say, it's time for people to stop playing into this delusion. The Democratic Party are not your friends. They're not the good guys. They are your enemies. They're your class enemy.
Absolutely.
It's time to organize outside the party of capital and war. So that's what we need to do, and that's what's going to get any results and change the material conditions for the people that are hurting under this system, which is everybody. So
that directly correlates with the Welsh word of the day, which
let's learn that. What's the Welsh word of the day?
Gwir. Gwir.
Which means
true.
True.
True. Gwir.
All right, I love you. Bye, everybody.
I love you.
Thanks for stopping by. The Red Lettuce.
Vote for Gloria. Use your privilege to vote for Gloria.
Use your privilege. Vote for Gloria La Riva.
So I'm going to go and I'm going to scream in the shower. Subscribe to the Red Lettuce.
I'm going to go and lock myself in my dog cage and never come out. Bye.
I'm going to go to the public library funded with tax money and read Lenin.
Or we can
I can't because Donald Trump mismanaged the global health crisis. And we're all going to fucking die. We're going to die. Get rid of the United States.
Get rid of it. Or just, overthrow it and install, China's model.
Yeah.